Hello and welcome to Workshop 3. Today we are talking about your identity and your personal brand because the two of them are inextricably linked and they need to have a conversation with each other at all times. And sometimes the nature of that conversation may be really gelling and in alignment. And at other points of your career, it may be awkward, it may be tricky, it may need some time and some support and lots of compromise. Maybe it is time for an upgrade. Maybe you are in a place and a space where you are ready for that software upgrade. You're ready to move into your next chapter, the next version of you, and to really see what's possible. So, if you haven't grabbed a piece of paper and a pen, feel free to do so. There'll be loads of journaling exercises inside. Of course, if writing is not your thing, you can grab your phone to voice note yourself. You can go on a walk or book in some time with a friend or book a coaching session with me. Now, if we are meeting for the first time, let me give you a very quick introduction. Over the years, I've helped hundreds of clients to activate and illuminate their personal brands. And for the last 25 years, I've been doing just that as a personal brand myself. I'm a trained actor, I'm a global speaker, a writer, a qualified coach, a collaborator. So all of the things that I am sharing with you are from real life experiences. I'm not just plucking information from a book and regurgitating it. This is a lived experience. If you like these workshops and you're not subscribed, please do so. Also, if you like longer ones where you can dig in, I have a whole workshops page on my website. So you can just go to nickyraby.com/workshops for more information. Right. Let's get into the juicy information. I want to really uncover some unhelpful lies that are keeping us small. I have numerous conversations with my clients in my DMs, at speaking events every single day around that sense of, I don't know how, I don't think I can, what if it doesn't work out? I'm feeling all the feelings, all of these things. And what I always say to every conversation is it's probably not your fault. You have been conditioned in this way. Society has given us these unhelpful lies which really need pulling apart because not only are they not true, they are keeping us small and they are moving us further away from our big goals and dreams and plans and everything we want instead of moving us closer there. The first thing I want to talk about is this sense that you make your bed and you lie in it. How often have you heard this? This sense that once you make a decision or once you go down a certain path, that is who you are, non-negotiable, and you can't move either way. Who you were is who you will always be. How often, once again, have you heard, well, when they were at school, they were doing X, Y, and Z. I can't believe they're now this person. I left school 30 years ago. And so for me, I really give myself that permission to be a different person. And I also love the idea that we can change, we can evolve, we can do all these different things. And there were certain things in school that I was learning that just felt so easy to me. I was like, really? What? This? Spending an hour talking about this? It's so simple to me. And then there are other elements that are only just dropping in now, a decade later, 2 decades later, 3 decades later. Oh, that's what they meant. So the way that we learn is always changing and evolving, and we can give ourselves that permission to keep moving forward. Now, there is a slightly darker side to this as well, but let's just kind of keep it simple for the purposes of this. This sense that adults know best. I was having a client conversation a little while ago, and she was talking about her relationship with her dad and how he always knew what she should be doing. She felt like he was always laying her path out for her, and she simply had to slot in. And she reached a point in her life where she just knew she didn't want to do that anymore. Her body, everything about it was just like, oh, no, this just doesn't feel right. And I think that sometimes we can be in a situation where we've listened to somebody else, we've outsourced our activity, our opinions, the way that we feel about things to other people. And so I want you to see where that has come up for you. The loudest and the most frequent opinion is right. Sometimes I have been in rooms, in classrooms, in pubs, or sitting round a table, and every single person around that table has had a different opinion to me. And I've really had to connect with what I know has been right for me. And that is a challenge. That takes work. That takes you really listening to yourself. Because sometimes we can be in this place where the loudest and the most popular opinion somehow gets to the front. I want you to connect with what you know to be true. Change is scary and should be avoided. This might be a northern thing. This might be something that was said to me a lot. When I was talking about going to London at 18, people were very suspicious about that. They were telling me how dangerous it was, how awful it was going to be. And the truth was, for me, I was so ready for this change. I built my whole childhood up to this idea that when I was 18, I was going to go to London. And yet, sometimes change can feel like this big monster. It's like, oh no, change is coming. Quick, run the other way. Hide, hide, hide. And life is actually not like that. We should expect change and movement and momentum and all those great things. And on the other side of that, we find out who we really are. One of the messages I had growing up, not necessarily by my parents, but certainly those around me, was this thing of staying humble, staying like knowing yourself, not getting too big for your boots. And actually, that was not useful to me because I will always be that nice person. I'm the one who's going to go into a meeting and I'll make the teas, or I don't know, I will follow up, I will introduce somebody, I will bring good energy into the room. However, I'm now at a point in my life, and maybe you are as well, where staying humble and being that nice girl is not the only mission. I'm here to create impact. I'm here to create change. I'm here to put my money where my mouth is. I'm here to be an advocate. I'm here to facilitate a ripple effect. I'm here to be a role model for my kids. And that in itself means I have to be purposeful and I have to be directed in the direction that I'm heading in, rather than just essentially spinning round and round trying to make sure that I stay humble. Another way that we can be kept small is the pressure of being likable. Likable is the goal. When people used to just say, like, I just want like my child to be the kindest, I just want them to be the nicest, that good girl thing. This came up for me so often as a kid. I'm the eldest daughter. I'm the eldest grandchild of both sets. I'm the eldest cousin. And this sense of like being a good role model, doing all of these things, sometimes has really been detrimental because it's meant that I haven't necessarily told my truth. I've been a people pleaser. I've been so accommodating. I've pushed down my own feelings, and it's really been a work in progress. Sometimes we can allow overwhelm, perfectionism, and procrastination to be the main characters. I notice this sometimes on the school run that if anybody ever goes to say about their achievements or what they're working on, they will then suddenly squash down their feelings and go, anyway, but I'm a terrible mum, or I haven't done this, or whatever it might be. And I want to show you that it's okay to be that best version of you. And I think most of us need to turn up that brightness on how great we are because we are here to do excellent things. We should listen and outsource what is everybody else doing. I know there are so many people who go through life never ever taking charge on what they feel is right. They don't know themselves. They're looking left and right, like, what's everybody wearing? What are we doing? What's the thing that we should be clinging onto? And I realized from my late teens that I had very different goals to a lot of my friends. And I was excited by those goals, but equally, who they were or the opinions they gave weren't necessarily helpful because they weren't walking in my shoes. They weren't navigating a similar path. So I want you to, again, tune in with yourself. Finally, that sense that we should be cautious in case we are too X, Y, and Z. After two, you can insert your own thing. Too much, too ambitious, too loud, too opinionated, all of these things. And over time, unless we really uncover and explore what is happening, we end up creating an identity that is nothing to do with us. It's not representing our truest self. So I want you to have a think about how that might be showing up for you. So let's take each of these things and look at an alternative. Firstly, make your bed and lie in it. I want you to be open to change, exploring options, finding a way, getting inspired, solution orientated. Now, as you will see from these sentences, this is all about action. It's all about movement. It's all about making a decision and doing the thing. It's not just about thinking about it or regurgitating or going over the same story. It's about moving into action. Who you were is who you will always be. The thing is, elements of me are the same. Who I was maybe at 7 years old is still in there. It's still part of me, age 44. But there are also parts of my path which I'm really happy to declutter. There are ages and stages of life where I didn't think that I was my best self, or I lost myself, or I don't know, I got distracted, or I moved off the path. And so I want you to give yourself full permission to declutter and curate what you want to take with you. Because also, many of us were in situations where what we were was due to circumstances or it was not the best version. So maybe you were somebody that was at my school. And the thing with my school, it was all about, like, the cool thing was to not be clever. It was to mess about. It was to, like, have really low standards, to cause a ruckus. And I'm not saying that I did that, but certainly I was not talking about my ambition. I was not talking about the things that really lit me up. I wasn't sharing the books that made me feel really lost in that world. I just wasn't. And so, who I was at that time was very much that protected version of me because I couldn't play full out. It wouldn't have been welcomed there. And I just didn't have the confidence and the assurance to really be in that place. So, it's okay. It's okay to change and to move into your next version. Adults know best. Sometimes they do, but not always. Plus, they are only seeing things through their lens. Evidence is powerful. Now, when you're a kid, adults' opinions can be really strong. And as my friend Stanley always says, opinion is not fact. You know, when people go, you know what you need? And already I'm thinking, I don't really know if you know what I need. But anyway, go on, say it. I'll be open to it. They will be very forceful in their opinions. But sometimes it's not about you. Sometimes they will never ask you questions. They'll just see parts of you and pull it all together and then be like, right, okay, here we go. I'm going to tell you, I'm going to enjoy using the sound of my own voice to dictate where this conversation goes. I have also realized now, age 44, that evidence is powerful. So, for example, I was with my kids, and both of them were there, and my dad, and I bumped into somebody, and she said she hadn't seen me since I was about 16 years old. And she said, I don't know how you can be a good mother bringing kids up in London. And I was just like, whoa. And we were just there with a trolley. We were going into the supermarket, picking up dinner stuff. And immediately I just thought, oh, that's about you, not about me. And evidence is powerful because I know the truth of that situation. The truth of that situation is we love living here and I can be a great mother here. And my kids are happy and we're having a great time. We have challenges, of course, everyday life, but generally it's the right decision for us. So if you haven't guessed it already, question everything. The loudest and the most frequent opinion is right, unless you disagree quietly and knowingly. And the way that you move forward doesn't have to be through kicking or screaming or being argumentative or getting into fights. You can just have that very quiet inner knowing, that nodding and smiling of like, cool. And you protecting your dance space whilst they can protect their dance space. I love a dirty dancing story time there. Oh, I love that film. Next, we should be cautious in case we're too X, Y, and Z. I am here to say, as a trained actor, still, like 25 years of professionally acting, it's really difficult to constantly feel like you have to be somebody else. It's exhausting. And I don't do this very much. Like when what you see is what you get, and I'm the same person in every situation. But sometimes, you know, when you go to a party or a gathering and you know that being yourself would not necessarily be welcome, so you temper it down, you give a lukewarm version. That all day is exhausting. So I want you to give yourself the permission to be just the right amount, to be that version of yourself, and also recognize the importance of that representation in business. We don't want to all be the same. No way. It's not helpful for us and it's not helpful for other people. Change is scary and should be avoided. Now, the thing with change is sometimes we are not tuning in with it, even when we're really unhappy, even when we just don't like where we're up to. And we keep going with it because it's familiar, because it's comfortable, because even if it is a bit rubbish, we recognize it. And our brain feels strangely quite comfy in it. And this is what happens inside your brain, to give a very basic scientific analysis here. As soon as you bring something new into your brain's like, whoa, 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 wasn't expecting this. What's this? Sorry, what we doing? What's happening? Oh, not today. I don't know. However, we have to keep listening to that version of ourselves that is craving more. And we are in a time right now where we don't have to put up and shut up. Even my parents' generation or the generation before that, there sometimes was that sense of like, make your bed and lie in it. Oh, well, it's always been like this. We've always done it in this way, so I guess we'll carry on, even though we all hate it. No, now is not that time. The tools are there. You can access everything that you need to make that change. We don't have to be neatly in a box. Sometimes when people love you and enjoy you being humble, it means that you are safe. It means that they know where they stand. And also, if you're playing a smaller version of yourself, it gives them permission too to stay small, to keep doing what they're doing without questioning, without shuffling outside of their comfort zone. So I want you to always remember you've got impact to create. You've got lives to change. You've got information to share. You've got transformations to facilitate. And so that mission statement for you has to be really clear. Let me let you into a secret. You probably figured it out already. You are never, ever going to be liked by everybody. Ever. I saw a reel the other day of somebody saying even the pyramids in Egypt that have been around for many, many years, they got bad reviews. Didn't like it, too big, too sandy, whatever the thing was. And so this idea that the goal is to be likable is so out of reach. It's impossible. And so, what I want you to be open to is being loved by a few and to focus on that transformation and that impact. I remember when I did my coaching qualification, honestly, some people thought I joined a cult. That, like, all very suspicious. Oh, no, 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 don't try and psychoanalyze me. It's like, I'm really not, because you're not my client and you're not paying me. So I'm going to let you live your life, and hopefully you'll let me live my life in that way. You have to be committed to the transformation and the impact that you can create for the right people, rather than everybody just going, yeah, she's a really nice person. The thing with overwhelm, perfectionism, and procrastination is that they will always come out. Do you ever notice that when you go through a growth period, your voice gets really chatty? The voices in your head are like, you can't do this, or what about it? It's just like it's full on in your head. And the old stories will creep back in. Well, it didn't work before. You probably can't do this. Who do you think you are? Whatever it is going on. You always have to have that moment where you keep zooming out, going, whoa, 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 whoa. What's going on here? Let's look at what's happening objectively inside my head. Overwhelm. Thank you for coming and saying, you're so overwhelmed, you can't do things, you're so stressed, there's never enough time, you don't have enough money, da 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 da. What if the world ends tomorrow? Overwhelm. I'm going to turn you down a little bit because I've got this. I can do this. I'm not going to be able to go as fast as my ego might like, but I can move. There are things that I can do. There are things that I can action. So let me crack on. We should listen and outsource what everybody else is doing. Now, this is going to be even more prevalent with chats and AI coming in. And this idea that we get all of our opinions from somebody else or something else. And this is going to require your bravery, because sometimes you're going to have to do something different because it doesn't align with your goals. So when my friends went to uni and I went to drama school, I was there 5 days a week, 9 till 7. I was also there Saturday morning because I taught in the morning and that was really important, being able to have a job. Sunday, I was working and learning lines and rehearsing with another people. It was a full-on experience. I wasn't going to student union bars. I wasn't like, I don't know, being drunk in the street or anything like that. Well, certainly not during term time. I knew though what I wanted. My goal was straightforward. I was so keen and so determined to keep moving there. And yet, sometimes when you're going against the grain, it can be difficult. Now, this is about you. I'm sharing this picture as part of these slides because it always just amuses me. I am so in my element, aren't I? I'm like, I've got my vest on, I've got my high-waisted velour trousers on. There probably was no music playing. I'm on my favorite beach. I'm just living my best life. And this for me is such a reminder of being in flow, being in ease. And this kind of attitude is certainly what I'm craving, and it's what I go back to. And I'm probably, I don't know, 7 there, maybe. I know clearly exactly who I am there. So bringing in that 7-year-old can be really helpful. So, where are you right now? In terms of this identity chat, I want you to turn up the brightness and I want you to objectively look at yourself. Because sometimes we don't. We're too busy being it and just going through the motions. And then our future self or the version of ourselves we'd like to be, it's just kind of like over there in the distance. But what I want to do through these exercises is like literally bring in that identity right now and start doing it. And it's not going to be one of those 90s makeover shows where you go behind a curtain and you come out and it's like, whoa, she looks like a completely different person. We're looking at how we can incrementally make these changes. So I want you to notice, how are you interacting in the world? Are you being efficient? Are you being focused? Do you have that speed and reliability? Or are you a bit flaky? You get stuck in your head, and actually, the version of you want to welcome in is that person who makes a decision and moves on, or that person who is reliable, not the person who's like, oh, yeah, sorry, I haven't checked my messages for 5 days. Really making sure that all these pieces are talking to that future self version of you. That presence and personality. I have seen this so often. These people who go, I love spending time with my friends. But guess what? When they are around that pub table with their friends, they're on the phone. They're doing something else. They're creating something else. They're not present. They're not there. They may tick the box of seeing the friends that weekend, but they're not in the groove. I want you to consider your outlook and your attitude. How are you feeling? Are you getting stuck in loops of like, oh, I don't know, yeah, I'm all right? This kind of low level small talk. Have a think about what that is. Also, your goals, are they front and center? Do you know what you're looking to achieve? Are you moving forward in that way? And if you're not, bring them in, get some specificity, really notice what they are, what they're requiring from you. How's your timekeeping and your focus? How are you spending your time right now? Are you being busy with all sorts of things? Are you getting lost in scroll holes? Are you getting distracted? Do you have wobbly boundaries? What's happening for you? How are you beginning and ending the day? What are your relationships like? And are they in keeping with where you're going next? All right, let's have another honesty chat. What is outdated for you? And where are you craving an update, an upgrade? I had to get rid of the pregnancy leggings. I was kidding myself. My son is going to be 11 in October, and I've got a 6-year-old as well. But I was just wearing these pregnancy leggings around the house. Why? Why? Yes, they were comfy, but also one of them had like paint all the way down. This was a two-pack, by the way, from ASOS. One had paint down the side of it, another one had a hole in. And I just thought to myself, like, this is not who I want to be. Now, I'm not saying I'm going to be one of these like perfect white tracksuit people either. I'm really not. However, I don't want to be the painted, ripped pregnancy legging person 11 years later. I want you to look at where you need to just pull up your standards a little bit. And I'm not saying become this like perfectionist, but sometimes it's like, how can you go from a 6 out of 10 to a 7 out of 10? You know, those moments where maybe it's you're always 5 minutes late. You just can't get a grip with your timekeeping. And instead, you make a decision to raise your standard, to always be on time, to be early, 1 minute early, and you change the game, you change the dynamic. And by doing those incremental things, suddenly you go into meetings and interactions feeling calm rather than the first thing that you do, apologize. Your excuse, this is okay, this is personal for me. Excuses, nonsense, princess energy, like I can't, I won't, I don't know how. I heard Reese Witherspoon say at an award ceremony, why in all of the films is there a huge catastrophe, something goes down, and the woman turns to a man and goes, what are we going to do now? And the truth is, most of us never do that. We figure it out. We make it happen. And yet sometimes we can overcomplicate things which really are straightforward and simple. Maybe you need to upgrade your technology. Maybe there's just little piles of mess in your house where you're just like, I need a system. I regularly have this in my house as my kids grow, where I reset the expectations. For example, when they were two, I would be very happy to carry their bag, I'd undo their water, I'd put things away. And now it's like, no, you can do your bags now. You are 6 and 10, you're more than capable. It's all good. Equally, you might be stuck in an old role. So, who you were in your 20s, or maybe you're running your life on an old system and things just need to be upgraded and spruced up a little bit. I want you to question what is happening underneath. And this is another opportunity for you to zoom out and see what's really going on. What's accidentally running the show? I had a very clear moment. Now, my kids, for 7 years between them, did not sleep through the night. And it really got me down, as you can imagine. But guess what? I spent my whole time telling people how tired I was. How are you? Oh, I'm really tired. I didn't sleep last night. And you could see these people's faces going, great. Okay, so anything else to say? And you could feel the energy going down. Are you somebody that is entering a conversation saying you don't know what you're doing, you're worried, things are all right, but they're not great, you know how it is? Or are you somebody that needs to spruce up how you're talking about yourself? I want you to see how that lands for you. Number 4, how do you feel and how do you want to feel? Now, I've given you some examples here, and of course, you can alter them as you see fit. I want you to think about your relationship with money, your relationship with ambition, your visibility. Are you dabbling? Are you sometimes in, sometimes out? Are you letting your emotions lead the way? You're not really feeling it, like you're only an 8 out of 10 rather than a 9, so you stop the whole thing. How do you think about selling? How are you feeling in your relationships? Being you right now is who you are in this moment, who you thought you would be. And if not, what are you going to do to feel and move in a different way? Are you spending your time in a way that feels really great, that feels in alignment, that feels discerning, that feels purposeful? Or are you just going through the motions? I also should say there are definitely moments, seasons of life When life is hard, life is tough, and that is all you can do. I'm not talking about those moments, because when you're in that moment, I send you all the love, because I've been there and it's tough and it's hard. And in that moment, it feels really indulgent. Like, what? I'm thinking about my goals when actually I'm so consumed and at capacity in this moment. I'm not talking to those parts of you. I'm talking to those of you who are stuck, you're in a rut, you're going round and round in circles, and you're convincing yourself you don't know what to do. You do know what to do. All you need to do is to ask some bigger questions. Finally, how's your energy? Are you feeling good? Are you feeling vibrant? If you're not, take it seriously. Go and book a doctor's appointment. Go and get your hormones checked. Check in with how much water you're drinking. Are you sleeping enough? What are you putting in your body? Are you spending time with good people? We are not supposed to always feel a bit, all right. We want to feel good. We deserve that. And I will always advocate for it. Okay, here we go. Take what you need to here. Number 5. Reset, release, refresh, reframe, reinvest, reinvigorate, reconnect, and finally, remember. Remember who you are. Remember what you said you wanted. Get that vision, make it really clear and bold, and stick it somewhere where you can see it, where you can build a relationship with it, where you can be in conversation with it each and every day. We know that life is short. We know that we only get one go at this one precious life. So make it count. If I can help you further, I absolutely would love to do so. Come on over to my strategy session page. You can go to nickyraby.com/sessions and find out more. And for those of you who are like, okay, Nicky, let's see what we can do, come and join the 100 Club. You can access this as a DIY version, or we can work one-to-one for 30 days. Let's see what's possible in the next 100 days. And Brucey bonus, here's something you can do. Take your phone out, look at your calendar, and see what the date's going to be in 100 days from now. Where do you want to have seen change? What shifts do you want to have made? What answers do you want to have found? What decisions do you want to have confirmed? How do you want to be feeling? Be really purposeful in this pursuit and get going as soon as you can. Thank you so much for watching. I will be back tomorrow. If you're not subscribed, please do so. I'm sending lots and lots of love. Have a beautiful day, and I can't wait to hear what you're going to do next. I am rooting for you as always. Lots of love. See you later.